Everyone. Today we are going to be working on our pitch practice, okay? We have worked on rhythm practice before. We know how to read quarter notes, we know how to read eighth notes, we know how to read rests, but we are going to be concerned with the pitch of those notes today. Okay, so when we are talking about pitch, we talked about this a couple months ago, that we are concerned with how high it sounds, how medium it sounds, or how low it sounds. Okay, and when we have music that is written on a staff, that is this sort of setup of lines and spaces here. Okay, we can see with our eyeballs what something is going to sound like. We can see that this pitch is going to be sounding low, this pitch is going to be sounding medium, and this pitch is going to be sounding high. I'll even play it for you. Oh, made a mistake there. So, okay, as the black dot on the staff goes lower and higher, we hear the pitch get lower or higher, right? So as I go backwards here, the pitch is going to get higher each note that I move to. And now, since you can see we're about to go back down in pitch, you're going to hear that change with your ears. Now, I have stayed on the lines and the spaces that are within the staff today. You might notice that I have options to write notes that are very, very, very low. Okay? Or I have options to write notes that are very high. Okay? In fact, I don't think you heard that one as clearly as you could have because the low pitch was happening over it. If I move this pitch, I can go way off the staff, but I'm not going to make it that tricky for us today. Okay? We are going to stay from the bottom line of the staff all the way to the top line of the staff and everything in between. You'll notice that some of these pitches have, let me see if I can take this off so it stops. There we go. Some of these pitches have lines sort of crossing through the middle, and some of these pitches are instead sandwiched between two lines. We call these ones with the lines running through the middle of them, we call those line notes, and these ones that are sandwiched in between, we call those space notes. Okay, so this one's on a line, in a space, on a line, in a space, on a line, in a space, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, I'm going to write some of these pitches out for you today. And when we are looking at our staff, we have this funny symbol here, and that is called a treble clef. We've talked about this, fourth graders. Third graders, this might be new information to you. But a treble clef means that we're going to hear basically high sounds, or instruments that would read this music would be high-pitched instruments like a violin, okay? There is a different type of clef that low-pitched instruments like the bass or the cello would read from, or the trombone, any number of low instruments you can think of would read from a different type of clef. But this clef, the treble clef, tells us we're going to hear an instrument that sounds kind of high, like a violin or a clarinet or a trumpet or any number of high instruments you can think of. Okay? Now, this treble clef is nicknamed the G clef. Okay? If I zoom in here, you will notice that we've got this real fun swirl that goes all the way up and around, but it ends circling this line right here. Fourth graders, we've talked about this. Third graders, this is new, okay? It ends circling this line right here. And so any pitch that I place on this line, we're going to name it G. Okay? All of these pitches have names, but this one in particular tells us, hey, pay attention to me. This is where you start. I'm G. So I'm going to go ahead and place a G exactly on this line. Okay, I don't want it so that it's sandwiched below. I don't want it sandwiched above. I want the line going right through it. That's a G. Okay, if I do another G, it's going to sound exactly the same. No surprise there. okay? Now I'm going to zoom out so you can still see the treble clef. All right? If I go up a pitch, this is where it's a little tricky. In music, we only have the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, and G to name our pitches. So if I go up one pitch to that next spot, we call that one A. Any pitch I place there, no matter how fast or slow it is going to still be playing the sound A. Okay? If I go back down, well, then I'm back to G. Okay? If I go back up one spot above G, I'm back at A. And now here's where it's really simple. If I go from A and I go up one more move, now this is a line note, that's a B. From A to B. Not surprising. Okay? If I go up again from A to B, then what do you think it's going to be? If you said C, you're absolutely correct. We have A. We have B. We have C. D. Now, I'll show you where D was because we've moved to a new line. So this was my D. Okay, notice how you played the same pitch. If I keep going up, E, and then F. Okay, now we're not going to explore any farther than that today. We were just on F. If I go back down, we just have to go backwards in the alphabet. I'm going from F to E, right? If I go down again, I'm going from E to, if you said D, you're correct, okay? From D down to C, from C down to B, B down to A, and A goes down. What did we call that really important line, right? The treble clef swirls around it. G, okay? Now, from here, we can go from G. If I keep going down, we haven't talked about these spots yet. If I keep going lower than G to the next spot, that one's going to be what comes before G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, F. Okay, F. And then I keep going down, and that's E. All right? So if I go backwards, we had E. We are going up to F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. If I go down now, we started on F to E to D, C, B, A, G, F, E. Okay? And if you're like, Miss An, why do I have to jump from A to G? I'm sorry, but that's something you're just going to have to memorize. I can explain it to you later, but for today, just accept it as that's the way it is. Okay? So, now, I'm going to get rid of this so it stops jumping me all over the place. What I would like you to do today is to practice this on your own. Now, I understand you're at home by yourself and maybe you're like, wow, Miss An, that's too much, okay? So we're going to start with an easy practice, okay? And you will know instantly if you are doing it correctly or if you're making a mistake, okay? So what I'm going to do is get out of MuseScore. In fact, I'm just going to hide it. All right, and we're going to open up the internet, we're going to go to Google, and we're going to go to my website. So I type in music with Miss Zahn, and I can click search, or I happen to tap enter or return. And the first thing that comes up is my music activities page, which is exactly where we want to go. So I click on music activities. I said I click on music activities. And we're going to work on our reading skills today. That's what this is. We're practicing reading those pitches off the staff, so later we can play them on the instruments, okay, or sing them with our voices. So this picture here will take you right to the test that we are going to do later today. But before that, we're going to practice, okay? This link right here says try it with helper letters, okay? And that's easier. So we're going to click on that one. And what it means by helper letters is that these letters show up on the side for us and help us remember what Miss Zahn said, okay? This is called a treble clef. A treble clef means that you're going to be hearing a higher instrument like a trumpet or the right side of the piano or a flute, okay? These pitches are going to be higher than if it was showing us a different clef, okay? And the treble clef circles around what pitch? What did we talk about? If you said G, you are correct, okay? If you need help remembering that, you can look over here and find that, oh, that line points directly to G, okay? And remember how we talked about there are line notes and there are space notes? They are showing you here each line is pointing to their respective pitch names, and each space is sort of housing the names there to help us out, okay? So for this practice, I would look at this note and I would go, okay, I know G would be here, and if I go up, that's A. If I go up again, that's B. If I go up, that's C. And if I go up, that's D. Awesome. So I click D, and it tells me instantly that I was correct, okay? If I'm guessing, or if I make a mistake and forget that the space and the line have different pitches, I might go, okay, I know G is here, so the next one must be A. If I make a mistake, it doesn't play that pitch for me. So I go, wait, what are you talking about? It's not A. And I can trace it over, looking for the line, and go, oh, I missed A. I should have gone to B. Okay, and we can keep practicing. That one was easy. It just went up one letter from B to C. Ooh, that was a jump. I might want to check that one. So I know this line is G. If I go down one letter from G, I get to F. Nice. Ooh, opposite. If I go up from G, I get to A. Okay, down at the bottom there, I know that I just did one here and it was F. So if I go down one letter, I'll get to E. Okay, and you can keep practicing in this fashion, okay? If you are always looking at the side there, it might just be a memorization trick. If you are thinking about, oh, I just played D here, so I know one pitch higher is going to be E, it's going to help you out in the long run. But, you know, you do what you can, okay? So I'm going to click E, and you notice that up here, I'm getting a score for how well I've done, okay? So I'll do a couple more. And when I think that I'm ready, maybe I've done 20 practice ones and gotten them correct. This is the number correct, this is the total that you've done, and this is the percentage that you've gotten correct, okay? So if I've done 20... Also, if you don't want to press the buttons, you can use your keyboard. So I know that's B. I'm using my keyboard instead this time. Okay, now I've gotten 20 finally correct. I tried 21, but I got 20 correct. So I'm feeling pretty confident in my skills. I was doing those pretty quickly, so I feel like I can move on. If you don't want to move on and you want to try again to get a better percentage, you can go to this corner here and you can click Reset Score. And you can start from scratch, and maybe you won't make so many mistakes this time, okay? If you are feeling ready to move on to the test, here's the test. I used my back button to get back to the music activities page. If for some reason you lost it, you can always just Google Music with Miss Zahn all over again and get yourself there, okay? And now I'm going to click on this one. You can notice from the picture that there are going to be no helper letters involved. All right, so I was practicing earlier. I got 8 out of 9, not too bad. I want to reset that score, though, because Miss Zahn is going to ask me for something challenging. Okay, if you are a 3rd grader, I want you to practice until you get 10 out of 10 correct. You heard me, okay? If you make a mistake, you don't have to start over right away, but I do want to see that you eventually get 10 out of 10 correct, which means, okay, I've done C. Oh no, I made a mistake. Okay, so I can keep practicing if I want. But now it's showing that I've made that mistake. So what I'd like you to do is to go to Reset Score. and to start over, okay, until you can get 10 in a row with no mistake, all right? Now, my fourth graders, you've practiced this a bit already, and I expect a little bit more. So, I would like you to get 20 out of 20 correct, okay? If you need to go back and practice with the ones that have the letters as helpers, that's totally fine, okay? Remember, the higher you go, you're going forwards in the alphabet. The lower you go, you're going to end up going backwards in the alphabet. So, let's see what this one would be. I know that this treble clef circles the G line, but this pitch is just above the G line. What pitch is that? If you said A, you would be correct. Ooh, that one really jumped. Okay, so I might start counting from G to A to B to C to D to E and to F. Ooh, that one's nice. I went down from F, one letter, okay, down one letter, E. Okay, after a while, you'll start to memorize where each of those letters live, okay? This line is G, we know that. I have to go down to F and down one more, and that's going to be E. Interesting how we had an E up here and an E down here. That happens, okay? One's a high E and one's a low E, all right? I just figured out E right in this line, so if I go up to this space, it's F. When you have accomplished your 20 out of 20, or your 10 out of 10, I'll stop there. Okay, what I need you to do is to send me a progress report, okay? So I'll show you what I did again. I see that I have 10 out of 10. I'm a third grader. That's what Miss Dawn has asked for. So I'm going to these dots, and I'm going to go show progress report, okay? Sign the report. That means enter your name. So I am Christina Zahn, and I'm going to sign my report. It tells me how long it took me, it tells me what my score was, and what I was working on in here. Okay, so I click sign report, and it generates this very crazy code. All you need to do is click copy link, okay, and you're going to go to the Google Classroom. All right, and I'm going to be making an assignment called Note Reading Practice. And when you go to turn in the assignment, you are going to use the box. I believe the box ends up on this side, and it says turn in. In fact, you know what? I will show you in a different class how I turn in an assignment, just in case you forgot. Okay, I'm going to be my other me. So you've got that link copied. This is my test class and my test assignment, okay? I submitted for another video that I made, but if I click on submit, I can show you what I was supposed to do, okay? So when you go to turn in an assignment, it gives you an option to mark it as done, okay? But I want you to add that link that you just copied from the website you were working on. So you're going to click link, and then you have a place to paste that link. You can either paste the link by hitting Command and V at the same time, okay? I'm going to get rid of that. Or you can go up to Edit, and you can click the word that says paste if you don't know how to do that, okay? And then click Add Link, and then I will be able to see your progress report, okay? If I click on that link, it gives me the whole thing. And then all you have to do is click turn in, and then your assignment will be done for the day. So third graders, you are working on note identification to get 10 out of 10. Fourth graders, you are working on note identification to get 20 out of 20, okay? Good luck.